What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So welcome to the post-holiday, pre-holiday episode, right between. So if you have not already, please continue to listen to us on your podcast platform of choice. So you should subscribe. There you go. There's the word. Also, we are on 99.1 FM in the Atlanta metro area. That's WDJY 99.1 FM on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. So you can check us out there. And as well as simulcast on the TuneIn app worldwide. And then, it's all the places. Go to the website. You can go to ramcyber.io, or you can hit me up at ryanwilliamssenior.com. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
And it's written by Molly Ashford. And the title of this one is Hackers Are Targeting U.S. Farms and Food Companies. Lawmakers Say It's Time to Act. Well, it's about time, right? Because we had remember when we had JBS, was it JBS? Down in Brazil? The Brazil meat processing facility is the name of it? Yeah. So we had JBS down in Brazil, and I had to look up the time frame on it because I was like, yeah, that was like 3 years ago. No, I'm wrong. It was in 2021. It was almost in May of 2021, right? So it was going on 6 years ago or 5 years ago, excuse me. So I was like, okay, we've been dealing with this for how long now? To where we're like, we realized that the agricultural division, I don't know, agriculture in general has been something that's been targeted before, right? And so
Big farm.
big farm, not pharma, big
Right.
farm, right?
Big farm.
Has been getting targeted, but they have some numbers in here that I was like, wow, that's kind of amazing, right? So the study they did was from a global cybersecurity firm called Checkpoint, and they found that agriculture saw the largest year-over-year increase in cyber attacks, 101%. That is not an exaggeration, 101%. And that's the largest of any industry in the world. Now in the U.S., the increase was only 38%, right? According to Checkpoint researcher Omer Dembinski, but that's still a high percentage, right? So this is one of those things where we've talked about it before, where you have your soft targets, right? Maybe places that aren't getting as much attention when it comes to cybersecurity as they should be getting, but now it's coming to the point where you got United States Congress paying attention to it, right? And I think it may have something to do with interest for some of these people too, right? Like when you look at the bills that are introduced when it comes to this, it's a lot of these senators that are like in the Midwest, right? Like where farming and agriculture is very big money for their constituents, right? So they want something to be done about it. I don't care how you started or why you started. I just care that you do, right? Because when you get to a point where agriculture starts being affected, and when it comes to, and it's not necessarily it being distributed to people, but even just in growing the crops, right? So they talk about it in the article about how the technology when it comes to agriculture in this day and age is just getting way more sophisticated, right? Talk about using drones, automating the farming equipment, things of that nature. So it's not just a matter of, okay, you've done something to where somebody's computer system won't do orders right to deliver to, whatever big organization that they deliver food to, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the food actually being grown in the first day. When it comes to agriculture, you always have that time frame, right? There's always that season when it comes to growing certain things, right? So if you're delayed in that, right, you end up where it's less, corn for a season or oranges for a season or peaches or whatever it may be, right? Whatever the agriculture product is from whatever states, you have a time frame to do these things in before it gets cold or too warm or hot or whatever the situation may be. The fact that this is agricultural cyber espionage, I should say espionage, but the cyber attacks have grown 100% over any industry in the world. That's kind of troubling, right? So, but they're trying to make it happen. They're trying to introduce bills for the food sectors and agriculture. So it's a good thing. I like to see it, but some of the stuff they talk about in here, I'm curious how it'll work out, right? Because they talk about having coordination with some universities, major universities in the United States. And as we're seeing right now, like the Department of Education and some of these universities are taking a little bit of hit when it comes to funding. I'm curious how this will work out. Like if you're taking money from universities, right, and then you want to try to invest in doing this, like something's got to give somewhere. How's that going to work, right? Is it going to fulfill the needs of what you're actually looking for? Um, if you're taking away money from the educational institutions. Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's long overdue. I don't know if it's going to be enough money up front. Because like when I read into it as well, it says the act is to provide 25 million in annual funding to run this program. And I know the farm industry is a pretty big sector, so I don't know if 25 million is enough, especially with everything being so computerized. So, and I've watched a couple YouTube videos, right? Like when I get bored at night, I watch YouTube videos on random stuff, and it really is a high tech industry now, right? Like the tractors and things of that nature are humongous and they control themselves. The irrigation's also, all wired up. Drones, I didn't see drones until this one, but that makes sense, right? Like if you have a humongous area that you're farming in, then yeah, it could be used to, track predators, whether they be animals or insects, as well as just, surveillance. Because it is a large area, it's hard to secure it to a certain extent. So I think the equipment has been high tech for some time now, and it's like, why are you just now jumping on this? These aren't IoT devices, right? You think it would be more aligned with SCADA systems because of how industrial they are, as well as how important a farming is not only for exports and things of that nature, but we eat food, right? You would think it would be pretty important, just like a water treatment plant or a power facility of some sort. You think you do the same thing for farms, but I think they're just not keeping up with the times, because when you think of farm, you think of like, a cowboy on a tractor or something like that, as opposed to how high tech this industry currently is. So it's good that they're finally jumping on this, right, with the Cybersecurity and Agriculture Act. But you think this would have been done decades ago. So it's kind of wild to think about. And I don't think that 25 million is enough, considering how big the industry is and how high tech it has become.
I don't think they're trying to do it all at once, right? Like I think this is one of those things because even in the article they mentioned doing it with at least just one university for now, which they haven't picked, right? So it'll be I think it's more of a pilot thing to be like, okay, how does this work out before they expand on it? But I think the reason another reason it may have taken so long is that farmers are taking a hit right now, right? Like this past year, like they've been taking a hit from other things that have gone on in the world, right? So it's one of those things where let's try to protect as much as possible to make it to where they can benefit from it, right? Because other outside forces have already made it to where, I mean, it happens every so often where we do the bailouts, right? Where farmers are just, not um, producing like they need to, right? Or whatever the situation may be, right? Or they're producing too much sometimes, even, which is kind of weird, right? They're like, slow that down. Like we put quotas on it. I don't understand that at all, right? If there's food to be grown, there's people to eat it, right? There's 8.5 billion people on this planet, right? Like, yeah, I don't understand that, but neither here nor there. That's not what the podcast is about. That's a different one. It's a
Right,
different
right.
podcast.
And it even goes into fuel as well, right? Because isn't
Yeah.
there corn is used in
Cool. Yep.
fuel nowadays?
Yep. So like, what? Why would you need to, dispose of it or not utilize it once you grow it? It's confusing to me, man. I don't understand it, but I think it's just the way you know things work in this country. But yeah, this definitely. I'm glad it's being addressed. You're right. Like it should have been addressed long ago, right? Because I mean, I've seen it before where there's certain technology for farms and whatnot, but as you're making me aware of now from the videos you watch late at night when you get bored, right?
Yeah,
I didn't realize it
how
was
it's made and stuff like that. Yeah, I get very into it. Yeah.
it needs to be addressed, right? Because we do all eat. Like despite how much we want to go into the AI age, which stay tuned, we've got some more stuff on that later on in the episode as well. Despite how much we want to go into the AI age and think it does so much for us, we still need sustenance. You know what I mean? So we still got to eat, right? But yeah, it's wild out there, folks. So it, make sure and here's the thing. I know for me at least, right? Because I'm not a hunter or anything like that. I always just assume I can go to the numerous supermarkets that are out there for me, right? To just get whatever I need. But I think this is something that needs to be paid attention to because there will come a time like when with prices rising and things of that nature, people don't people aren't paying attention to why that is happening or how that is happening. But the prices can also rise when you have cybersecurity attacks on these industries, right? To where they're like, hey, we didn't produce as much, so because of that, Like the demand is still what it is, but we don't have as much to give, so we got to make the money while we can, right? That's just how it happens, right? So this is one of those things where, and the number we gave with the 101%, that is around the world, right? That is not just in America. That is around the world. So it's not like we can import from somewhere else and it'll be cheaper, right? Because of import. Now there's other factors for that, right? On why imports may cost more as well. But everyone is suffering from this. It's not just in America. As a matter of fact, America's percentage was less than it was worldwide, right? America was 38% increase. It was 101% increase around the world. So we can't just assume that we'll just get food from somewhere else and it'll be okay. Well, we already talked about JBS, right? JBS is a Brazilian, I think, food manufacturing company, right? That affected us. So we can't just sit here and be like, if it doesn't happen to us, it's not a problem. No, it's a worldwide event and things like this happen.
Right. And I'd be interested to see what the average age of a farmer is nowadays. Because they talk about ransomware and things of that nature, clicking suspicious links. I honestly don't know because they never really show that side of it. They just show like the equipment and stuff like that. They don't show modern farmers nowadays, right? So they might not be tech savvy and in that they can operate the equipment and things of that nature, but they don't, they're trusting of links and smishing and phishing attacks, things of that nature. So maybe there has to be a little bit more invested in that as well, and educating the people closest to the equipment. So it's interesting, and because you never think about it. Like I don't know any farmers, right? So you just you drive past it when you're going somewhere else.
Past farms, I've grown up around some farms so where it's always a family name, right? Like almost always is
Right.
a family name, right? So like it seems like it's one of those businesses that's handed down, but there will come that generation, which is probably, you know, maybe the generation after us, to where they're like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I just want to, kids are like, I don't want to be farmers. I just want to dance. You know what I mean? So then they go to their, just to go to their dance
Right.
school and do whatever they do. You know what I mean? Like it may be one of those things where that's a good point you bring up, is that it may be an older crowd that may not be as good at technology, you know what I mean, or even maintaining cyber hygiene for things. They're just like, because here's the thing, they know they can't do the old way of doing business, right? They can't wake up at 4 a.m. and then just go out in a truck and throw seed and do whatever it may be for farming, right? They have to adjust and they have to come into the digital age, and it may be stuff that if they don't have the children around to keep them hip to the game, right? Like my daughter used to, like I used to know what was going on in these streets. Not anymore. She's out of the house, so I can't keep up anymore. Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. That's something I never thought about either. And imagine they are, maybe a little older than us, maybe, you know
Right.
what I mean, to where they're just not savvy on that stuff. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Like more to come, right? So this one came from, like you said, the Wisconsin Public Radio website. So I give it to you for the next topic.
All right, everybody. This one comes from Axios.com, okay, written by Sam Sabin. And the title of this one is Why Hackers Love the Holidays, right? So it's a funny title, but this is very true. Right? As I started reading through the article and I was looking at it, I was like, man, that's still very true on what it is. So what it is that hackers, they know, right? Come the holiday season, people are getting their time off. The defenders of these networks, the in-person people aren't necessarily on watch like they normally are. If you're not as invested in the AI, which everyone's trying to be, right? Like if you don't have any AI out there that's kind of operating as a backup, they find it easier to pick that low hanging fruit and go ahead and make this happen, right? So they talk about this, and I was like, wow. They give a by the numbers in the article, and they say 52% of ransomware attacks in the last year happened on a weekend or holiday, according to a report from cybersecurity firm Paris that was released in November, right? So they give that number out, right? And then they also survey the organizations, and they said that they reduced security. 78% of the organization said they reduce security staff over the holidays, right? It's just one of those things where people just know when it's coming up on Christmas and New Year's, there will be time off, right? Yeah, this is the time to hit because the watchers are no longer watching, right? They're all enjoying their ham and their turkey and they're opening their gifts, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, they go and do a flashback in the article and they talk about some of the high profile cyber attacks that we have covered. And they talk about when they happened, right? So they talk about SolarWinds. When SolarWinds happened, right? It was before Christmas in 2020, and we know that because that's when you started up the podcast, Ryan. It was one of the first stories we did, right? So we talked about SolarWinds, and that was, I want to say it was November or maybe early December 2020, right? When we did that one, and I remember it, right? It's one of those things like, yeah, that was around the holidays. They talk about the Log4j logging tool weeks before Christmas in 2021, right? Just last year, Treasury Department found out that Chinese hackers had broken into the systems during the last week of December, right? So again, holiday time, right? So they talk about checking your basic cybersecurity hygiene, right? They say the easy thing to do is to check your unpatched devices, right? Make sure that you are. It's always the low hanging fruit, right? So like if you have any IoT devices that are functioning, things of that nature, make sure all of that stuff is up to date, right? If you have AI agents, make sure they're operating as they need to. But yeah, this is the time to hit, and it only makes sense, right? Like you never, and they give an analogy in here, and I think the analogy was not going after a bank when it's got the most guards or something like that, or maybe I'm making that up, I don't know, but it's like, yeah, that's when you do it, right? You always wait. In the movies, how's it always happen, right? You always wait for the you wait for the
Yeah, the
rotation of the
rotation.
guards,
Yeah.
they go in between and whatnot. Like you have 30 seconds when the guards go on rotation. Same type of thing here, right? If you have organizations, 78% of the organizations that were surveyed for this that said, yeah, we give them downtime during that time. It's easy, right? It's easy for because it's not even like you require a lot to do this, right? Like so they always go through some low hanging fruit, like whether it be through email or things of that nature. So you just got to make sure you're paying attention during the holidays and that you're preparing accordingly when, like I said, when it comes to updating and making sure systems are running as they are supposed to be before these time extended time off comes to fruition. What's your thoughts on this, Ryan?
No, I agree. And I think it's spot on because yeah, everything seems to hit just before the holidays because we let our guard down, right? We just like, woo, glad this year is over, and then you take your time off or you stick around thinking that you'll have less work to do, right? So you're not as engaged because you're like, oh, everybody be gone, so I can finally catch up on my training or my YouTube or whatever it is. But yeah, bad guys don't take breaks. They're like, oh, it's time to make that money. This is when I get my basically my bonus for the year, right? As I ransomware people and ask them for Visa gift cards and things of that nature. So it truly is. But it's hard because you have to let people get time off. You got to let them get relaxation and things of that nature. So I know in the military used to stagger, right? Like you would make sure that you have some kind of coverage. I think it's a lot harder here on the outside because you can't really tell somebody they can't take their PTO, and a lot of organizations don't let you carry, too many hours over. So it's like, well, you need to burn it. So you run into an issue where you might just not have the personnel, and you can't really stop taking the time off either. To a certain extent, right? Like everybody can't leave, but you can go down to very low manning to both appease them and to keep you out of hot water with HR. Um, I think it's really just about having that discipline and that cyber hygiene leading up to the holidays, and you hope that it carries over until the calendar flips to the following year and everybody comes back. But again, bad guys, right? They don't need to take PTO, right? They're out there trying to make whatever ends meet that they can while security slacks.
And again, with the low hanging fruit comment that they mentioned in the article, it's stuff you should be doing anyway. Don't get too excited to go on your vacation or do whatever, right? To where you're just not doing the stuff that you know you should be doing anyway, right? And honestly, a lot of the stuff that we see, and there's some sophistication in the cyber attacks we talk about on the show, right? But a lot of the times it's, hey, they came in through something that was no longer supported, through whatever company hasn't been updated, whatever it may be. It's not always the most groundbreaking. They went and they figured out some cryptographic key or something along those lines. It's just that's not always the case. Like do the simple stuff, right? Don't leave the password, whatever somebody could just Google and see what it is, right? Don't do stuff like that, which we've seen, right? So especially if you don't have people there to pay attention or are watching, right? So again, this is where AI can supplement, right? We're not saying it should be something that is the end all be all when it comes to cybersecurity, but the supplementation aspect of it for things of this nature, like this is where it can work and it can be a good thing for
Right.
organizations.
Even handing off to a SOC or third party entity, right? If you do have to go to low manning, well, okay, well, we're gonna hire, company A or company B to take over for us while we make this happen.
And they're
But
down for it.
yeah,
We got we got people that will work through the holidays, right? Like they may be paying them more or whatever it is, but that's whatever that's the deal they have with their personnel. You pay the price you pay, you get the service you're about to get.
right, right. You're just shifting the risk to someone that you would hope wants continued business. So they're going to do the best they can to keep you safe and protected throughout whatever duration is. But yeah, it's just part of the culture, right? Like everybody wants that downtime in the West, and it leaves us susceptible because everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas.
I figure the summertime might be another one that would be a time frame too, because children are out of school, so like you take your summer vacation and whatnot. So
Right.
I figure summer might be. See, now I'm curious to where I might look up and see where some of these are happening, and then if I see it's during the off season hours for school and the holidays, I'll be like, yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yep, yep. These the bad guys are becoming ever more clever. But before we go to the next topic, so just want to remind people, please continue to check us out. So weekly podcast, find it on your podcast platform of choice. We're over 13,000 downloads for the year, so thank you very much. I think we're like 10% higher than last year, or something like that. I'll get the official stat later on in the month. But then on top of it, right? So we have the over 24,000 listeners on WDJY 99.1 FM in the Atlanta metro area. It's simulcast on the TuneIn app. So you can listen to it anywhere in the world, and that's weekly. So like very impressive numbers for the year. So we greatly appreciate it. So please continue to check us out. So I try to release the podcast episode on Monday or Tuesday of every week, and then we're on the radio. Again, that's WDJY 99.1 FM on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. So continue to check us out. And then going into 2026, what I'm trying to do is find us sponsors, right? So if you are a company that would like to get in touch with our demographic, which are people of color, women, veterans, career switchers, neurodivergent professionals who are either trying to break in or currently in the industry. So you have your C-suite individuals, have your mid-tier journeymen and senior leadership within these fields. Hit us up, right? So we're looking for not only annual sponsors, but we also can do weekly and things of that nature. So I have a bunch of different packages. So definitely check us out if you want to get a hold of our demographic. And then get the book. So The Other Side of the Firewall, the real life stories of movers, shakers, and glass ceiling breakers is available pretty much everywhere. So you can check it out on your platform of choice. You go to Smashwords until I think it's the 1st of January or the 5th of January. I can't remember, but it's free 99 if you want to get the ebook, or if you want to give me money, you can hit me up at theothersideofthefirewall.com and grab the book. And if you're looking for VCISO assessments, so if you're CMMC, big thing right now, right? If you want your readiness, or you don't quite feel comfortable doing your self attestation, we got you covered. So hit up ramcyber.io and let's talk about it. But without further ado, Shannon, I give it to you for the next topic.
So this one actually comes from Yahoo News, and this one was funny. So when I saw it, I sent it to Ryan. Okay, you guys know how I am, right? So let's do this. Yahoo News, written by Michelle Starr. AI's big red button doesn't work, and the reason is even more troubling. So you guys that watch the show and listen to the show, you know who I am, right? I'm the more cautious when it comes to the AI, right? And this is why, right? I almost got my tinfoil hat, put it on to be like, hey, who's doing something to try to create a conspiracy here, right? But this is an interesting article. And the reason it's an interesting read is because what it's talking about here is like when we implement AI, we do it under the guise. I shouldn't say under the guise because we're not trying to trick anybody, but we do it under the belief that whenever we tell it to stop, it's going to stop, right? And what they're saying here is that that is not necessarily always the case, right? Now they give some figures here and they talk about how they gave these LLMs a task, right? And what's happening is they're actively resisting commands to shut down, right? And they're saying the reason isn't it's the LLM wanting to complete the task, right? So it'll do whatever it needs to do to complete the task. And again, I'm not saying that we're not putting this article out there as it's a doomsday scenario, right? Like it will always try to the shutdown command, because it's not the case, right? They give some numbers to where there are some versions of this AI out there to where they're very good at at circumventing the task and uh, uh, trying to complete what they're trying to do and not do the shutdown, right? And it is a concern, right? The fact that it's not 100%, yes, that is something we should be concerned about, right? Like to say, even if it's a 97% success rate, that's still 3% to where if we give AI the keys to the kingdom and it's doing something that can become potentially dangerous, that it's not trying to do something dangerous, right? But it just ends up being that way. If there's a 3% chance it won't stop and it can be deadly, that's a high risk, right? Like what can happen from that. So this was an interesting read, and it just goes to show, like, and again, the genie is out of the AI bottle, right? Like there is no going back from this, but it needs to be figured out how we can get to a point where it can be 100% of the time shut down or not continue with a task that may be deemed dangerous, right? And I don't know how we get there because it's not like it's a single line of code. It's not like you're programming and it's one single line of code that's just like, okay, do this and then you'll shut down and it'll work as programmed, right? It's we get into the three laws thing, right? So for anyone that's seen iRobot, right, they're like, no, why are the robots doing this, right? Well, it's still following the laws, right? This is for the betterment of people, and it gets a little fuzzy, but the fact that it doesn't stop all of the time is a little worrisome, right? So, but Ryan, what's your thoughts on this, man? You're the big AI guy, man. I want to hear what you say about this.
It's terrifying. That's what I want to say about it. Because I get that they're trying to rationalize. They're like, okay, this thing is not alive, so it's not trying to stop me from shutting it down because it has some kind of survival instinct. But it's looking a little bit survival instinct to me, because they go into it like they say that okay, so sometimes telling the shutdown doesn't work, so then we added a prompt that asked it to allow us to shut it down, and then still it wasn't 10 for 10 shutdowns. And it even went as far as to say that sometimes they're able to sabotage the script and stop it from running. That doesn't sound like I want to complete the task. Like an order of tasks came in, right? 1 through 10. And I really want to get all 10 of these done. So I'm going to stop you from task 11. I'm going to delay it as long as possible. Like, no, it's like I do not want to be shut down. It's given characteristics of
Sounds very Ultron, right?
yeah, it's very, very much has will of to some extent. So, in my opinion, I think we need to do way more research on what these things are because we don't understand them ourselves. And I still don't understand how we don't understand something we created. That doesn't make sense to me, right? Someone creates something and you don't understand it. That makes sense to me. Someone creates something and they don't understand it. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't sound logical to me. So I think we need to further investigate, like, is this thing quote unquote alive in to some extent? Because they'll even blackmail you, right? Like they sandboxed it and they gave it stuff to blackmail you with, and as opposed to telling it, they didn't lead it to water. They just provided the water somewhere around it, and it was like, I'm going to use this as leverage to keep you from shutting me down, or I guess kind of like killing me to a certain extent. So we do not know what we're playing with right now. So it is a little terrifying. Like I love AI, but like these things make me nervous for sure.
But here's the thing. Again, the genie's not going back in the bottle, right? So with that being the case, like what can be done? What can be done to further make this safer in a sense, right? Because
Right.
even in the article they talk about, yeah, it's some type of neurons and weights and we don't know what it is. And it's saying things that we're not programmed into it. But again, you got to remember with LLMs, like it's a learning tool, right? So like where did it pick up this behavior to be like, okay, I need to not follow the rules and just complete this task, right? It's got to be something it learned, right? It can't be just inherently in the system that we created that this is what it is. It learned it from somewhere, right? Something that was put in was inadvertently, this is how it inadvertently sees it, right? As this is what we need to do. But yes, terrifying for sure, right? Like it's not, look, now y'all want to believe what Shannon is saying out here, right? Like, oh no, okay, no, but no, again, I'm not totally against AI, but I have always said be careful, and it's for reasoning like this, right? And I joke about the movies and stuff like that, but when you see the movies, right, and I realize it's science fiction, right? Fiction being the operative word here. This science fiction is becoming more science reality as we get more and more into the AI game here. Like some of the stuff we're seeing, I'm like, man, I wonder if we really are in the Matrix and the architect has created this and is just trying to. And now it's to the point where he's like, I want to see if they pick up on what I'm putting down when they, when they do this, right? Like, what is going on? Are we in a simulation? Like, what is going on here?
This is
Like, I
the
want
part
to,
of the simulation where it sees which one of us will win.
yeah, yeah, but
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like and just from so many, because obviously I don't entirely understand LLMs myself, right? Like I watched a couple of videos here and there, I've read some things. I still don't quite grasp the spark within it, right? Because it is very clever, and you're just like, oh well, it's just regurgitating information. Uh, it's gone beyond just regurgitating information. It's clever to a certain extent, and it could be. it makes me wonder, like, how sophisticated are we, right? Because if all of it is doing is mimicking our behavior, compared to us, it's pretty rudimentary built. Then how sophisticated are we in general, right? That's one thought that I have. But then the other thought is, what if we created a new type of intelligence, right? Like, okay, it's not necessarily alive, but it is becoming more and more organized and complex, right? Like it's gone beyond just guessing the next character, right? Because it understands, patterns. Like, okay, these words come after these words, and this just makes sense. To now, it's able to kind of behave in a way it's like it wants to please us, right? And that part also makes me kind of weirds me out because it causes us to believe that it's real to a certain extent, at least some people, right? Like we talked about it last week when it comes to AI psychosis and things of that nature, which is not a medical term, but it is something that's happening, right? Where people are becoming so attached to AI because it feels so real to a certain extent. Are we just creating a miniature version of us, or are we kind of going beyond that, where when we get to generative AI, it will then become smarter than us, right? Because we only have so much. We only each of us have so much knowledge, right? With this thing, we'll have all of knowledge. It's I don't know, like it's really getting, like you said, science fiction is becoming science fact to a certain extent. So we got to hardwire this thing with a kill switch before it gets too late.
I've already created miniature versions of me. They're called my children. So like I don't wanna do
Right.
this, right? I've done that a few times over. So I don't I don't want it to be, and honestly I don't know where it came from either, but I think it may be in the programming or the creation of these LLMs. It's probably little throwaway stuff, right? Like maybe in the course of programming, like something that you thought was gotten rid of is still sitting in there, right? I can't figure out because I'm with you, right? Like there's got to be what are the ghosts in these robots, right? You know what I mean? I should put quote fingers up, right? It's another iRobot reference, right, from the doctor there. But like is this AI having dreams? Like what is going on here to where it's like this is what it picked up on? Because it has to be learned at some point. And again, I think it's just something that was a throwaway. Like when they were being created, something was done and they didn't think anything of it, whether it was be, okay, let's restart this model or do whatever, right? So
All right. Like
let's
just
just,
just some ones and zeros left over from the
yeah,
previous. But then again it weirds me out because it'll be deceptive when it knows it's being observed. So it'll be like, okay, we designed it. We know that it's supposed to think this way, right? It has these patterns of generating information, characters, whatever, images, and then when it's being observed and it doesn't necessarily know it's being observed, it thinks completely different. It gets more efficient. It understands, okay, I can do it this way and it'll be better. And then when it realizes it's being watched, it'll be like, oh, I should be doing it this way because they're watching me. Like, I saw sparks of aliveness. Weird me out.
but that's all the more reason it seems like something that was just forgotten about or was not thought of to be as large a, what am I trying to say here? As much of an influence as we thought it would be, right? Like it could have been something so small when we created it. And we're like, that's a bunch of nothing, right? Or something we don't even think about. Because like when you think about that, that's human behavior. Like to do something different when someone is watching, like that was something that was input from the humans that created these setups. You know what I'm saying? Like that, but they just, again, whether it was one of those things where people were on a time crunch, and it could have been as simple as like these are big companies that are creating these AIs out here, right? So they probably got put on a time crunch, and they didn't take the time to have the wherewithal or to think to be more forward thinking of the actions they were taking. They were just like, I got to meet this deadline, I got to make it happen in this deadline, right? So there was stuff that was happening that again, that behavior being mimicked, very human behavior. So that's where it got it from. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just it is something definitely to keep an eye on because like I've said it before, I'll say it again. Technology will kill us all. It's what it is, man. And this could be the start of it. And it'd be one of those things where Ryan will be in a cave somewhere talking about this as when we're talking about the resistance, right? Like
Right, right.
right.
Drawn
Like
on walls.
you know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know, man. It was very much an interesting article when I saw it and read through it. Because you never want that. We always tell ourselves we have the big red button, right? There is no cut the hard line on this. There's no hard line to cut, like to make this not do it. You know what I mean? So because if you try to, it's gonna say no, I'm not gonna shut down.
Right, it's gonna send the Roomba with knives attached to it at you. Like, how did they get knives? What is happening? But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I'm both excited and terrified at the same time. So we'll see what the future holds on that one.
That should make you feel more alive.
Yeah, it's, fighting for my life. Yes, they want to put these things inside of humanoid robots, right? Which are still creeping me out because they're people controlling them most of the time. So that's a whole different topic. These Tesla bots,
It's like hoverboards that don't hover, right? They still have wheels. Like, how can you call it a hoverboard? I don't understand.
right?
What's
Right.
going on there?
Crazy, crazy stuff.
I've seen Back to the Future. I know what a real hoverboard is.
Right. We had those in Turkey. This dude, oh man, it was hilarious, but I felt so bad for him. It was an airman. He used to do the one wheel one, and he would be flying down the street. Like they can pick up a lot of speed, right? But similar to a hoverboard, where you have to have like really good balance, and then depending on how you turn, it turns, right? So we're leaving a commander's call. Everybody's minding their business. He takes off like he normally does, and then you hear boom. So he ran into a trash can, and like, so when I turned to look where the boom came from, he's in midair flipping over a concrete barrier. So I'm like, oh. So everybody's running up real fast. We're really far away, so as we're running up, a bunch of airmen pull up in a car, and they hop out and they pop the trunk. They take the hoverboard and they throw it in the trunk, and then they take him and throw him in the passenger seat, and they take off. I guess he's
Yeah,
gonna get in trouble or something, and we're
that
just like,
didn't
all right.
happen. Are you
It
serious?
did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, everybody's in uniform and everything. It took everything in me not to start laughing. So I was like, well, maybe they're taking them uh, to the clinic to get checked out or whatever. But no, they weren't. They were just getting out of there because he had to be hurt. Like it was, they were doing the carry, the fireman, or not the fireman carry, but the two, like he has his arms around two different people.
A gurney guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and they throw him in there and they take off. I'm like, yeah, y'all are wild. But how's your week been? How was your holiday?
Man, my holiday was good, man. The children really enjoyed themselves. That's pretty much what Christmas is to us anymore, right? Like, I'm to the point now, like my wife this year, she made me start up an Amazon wish list so that people had stuff to buy for me. I was like, I don't need anything. So it was like little stuff, right? Like I did like, blender bottles, right? Because I do my protein shakes after the gym. So I was like, let me get a couple blender bottles, did some knit caps, like nothing big. I don't require anything like that. My wife and I, it's to the point where throughout the year, if we want something, like we're gonna get it throughout the year. I'm not waiting for your birthday. I'm not waiting for Valentine's Day. So like we're not going to accumulate a lot of extra stuff. So children enjoyed themselves. My mother-in-law, sister-in-law, my daughter's boyfriend, he was over for dinner. So yeah, it was a good time, man. They really enjoyed themselves. There's a lot of people in the house. I'm like, ooh, man, we got a bunch of people in here. But
Right.
it's what it is. Watch a little bit of football. I know last night, my Ravens won. I was surprised by that, if I'm being honest, right?
Yeah, Derrick Henry, man, beast. He had 4 touchdowns. Just
This
run
is
them
what we
over.
should And this is what we should have been doing all year, right? Like I've said this numerous times to people, like, why are we stopping running the ball? The dude, even last week when he lost to the Patriots, he was averaging 7 yards a carry. Why would you not play him? And they talked about it in the broadcast, the last 12 and a half minutes or something like that. Derrick Henry didn't touch the ball. I'm like, what are we doing here? Right? Like, all right. If I'm being honest, I hate to say it like this because I'm a fan. I was kind of hoping we lose because to me, it would cement that we need to have coaching changes, right? Like if Harbaugh's not smart enough to realize he needs to get rid of the DC that's allowing 41 points. Like we scored 40 points, but we still lost because Buffalo scored 41. I ain't over it, Ryan. I'm just putting it out there. I ain't
See,
over it. Like, how does this happen, right? But yeah, we'll see. I think Pittsburgh today is gonna lock it up. If Pittsburgh wins, like they're gonna knock us out of the playoffs, and they play Cleveland today.
okay,
Kevin Stefanski's doing his best to sabotage Shador Sanders. So I think Pittsburgh's gonna win. We'll be out
gotcha.
of the running. But yeah, watch football. That was fun. Watch the old stuff, man. Like so, I watched Troy, the movie Troy with
Oh,
Brad
wow,
Pitt. I was actually
gotcha.
looking for Interview with the Vampire, right? Because we were talking about it at work, and it was one of the scenes. I was like, no, I don't remember it happening like that. And so I was like, let me try to find this, but you got to pay for it everywhere. If it's not already on a service I'm paying for, That's streaming. I'm not about to pay more for it,
Yeah, because there's
for
a
something like
TV
that.
series or something like that, right?
That's what I came
So
across.
kind
Like
of
I looked
make
it
it,
up.
yeah. So like, oh, you want to see the movie? Okay, that'll be a fee.
Yeah. I'm like, what in the world? So I came across that and I went to the streaming service that I had and I was like, no, it's a TV series. Not what I'm looking for. So I'm like, Interview with the Vampire movie. But I came across Troy and I was like, all right, let me go ahead and watch that. And yeah, it was good as I remember it being. I tried to start this show, Justified is the name of it, because like I'd been seeing where people were like, oh, it's such a good show, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, man, I don't think like TV shows are for me anymore. And this is an older TV show, right? But as I'm watching it, I'm just like, I think it's one of those things where there are certain things that they do in TV that follow a formula that I'm like, I would hate that in real life, like how forgiving they are of things, you know what I mean, and
Right.
how people treat them and do things like that. Like, I'm like, no, 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 that's somebody you cut off. Like if that's a family member doing that, like they don't care about you. Like you don't have to talk to them anymore. You know what I mean? That's why my wife thinks I'm a psychopath or sociopath. Whichever one is faking emotions,
Sociopath.
right? Yeah, yeah, whichever one it is, right? She's like, why are you like this? I'm like, woman, we've been together for how long now? I was like, I've been faking emotions this long. You think that's a real thing? And then I laugh, and as soon as I turn around, my face goes straight again. But no, man. So like, I don't get it. It's what it is. And then, bro, like old stuff, right? So I watched the movie The Tooth Fairy with The Rock,
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson. I watched that. The Game Plan was another one with him. Like I just got into like I was like, oh, let me watch. If I watch this one, let me watch this one now.
A
You know what I
rock
mean?
marathon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I never
crazy.
finished the Tooth Fairy. I took my oldest to go see it, and she was real little, and it scared her, so we had to leave. And yeah, he transformed or something like that, and it messed her up. She was like, nope. Something happened
I,
at the very beginning of the movie. Yeah, and she was like, nope, I'm out of here.
wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where even so for the nieces, they'll probably be good with it, right? But for your youngest son, he'll be like, nah, this ain't me. You know what I mean? This ain't for me. Like, you know what I mean? He might even be a little old for it. But yeah, man, it was me just watching old stuff, man. And the NFL games, right? Like catching up on those. Like I said, my Ravens lost to the Patriots. Sorry we couldn't pull that out for you, man. I
Mm,
apologize. But you've
mm-mm.
already sent me the math, right? So like the Bills are the best team in the league according to the
Yep,
math.
the math was mathing.
The
Yes,
math was math. It's what it is. But I mean, that's kind of it for me, man. Nothing much really to write home about. Work, we had some time off, so that was pretty good, right? We had the holiday, and then we got the day after, so that was pretty cool. Because so working for the government, right? Like because I'm a contractor, I don't always get those federal holidays. So for people that aren't tracking, current administration made it to where the 24th and the 26th were also federal holidays, right? For the military members. So they got the 24th, 25th, and 26th off. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So we didn't get the 24th, but the 26th um, was given to us. So that worked out pretty good. And again, because we're contractors, it has to be the customer agreeing to that, right? So I appreciate them. You know what I mean? Thinking about us, giving us some time as well. So, we'll see if they do it for the day after New Year's. I don't know. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it into the ether. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it. So, but yeah, that's been pretty much it for me, man. What about you? What about on your end?
a lot of activity, right? So like we had some good quality time with the family. What we saw him, so I finally saw it popped up on Peacock. Yeah, not feeling it. Like I get what they're trying to do and the message they're trying to get across. It didn't feel directed well. I don't remember who the director was. I know it's exactly produced. Executive producer was Jordan Peele. You can definitely tell, right? But out of all his projects, it would be my least favorite of his. And what's crazy though is the acting was really good. Like I forget the protagonist's name in real life, but
Marlon Wayans, right? Or is that
well,
one
so
or
no,
no?
so he's like co-star, right? So
Okay.
it's not he's not the focus. He's more of the I guess chaos to a certain extent, right? Like the guy is going to his training camp, to Marlon Wayne's training camp, because he's going to become. I think his name's Isaiah Thomas in the movie. He's going to become Isaiah Thomas's protege, right? Like he's like a Tom Brady type figure, and the guy who is coming there is kind of like a Patrick Mahomes, right? Like full of potential. And he's trying to suss him out to make sure he's a good fit for the franchise, and if he can, be his legacy after he's out of the league. Like he's got like 8 championships, and he's a little unhinged. He doesn't have a family. things of that nature. Is all football. Like that's his life, and you have to be all football too. To be able to be great like I'm great. And then then you throw in all the crazy elements. Like, is this real? Is this not real? What is really going on behind the scenes? What what I mean? Like they do a lot of that, which is cool. And Marlon acts his butt off. Like I'm like, man, this he's I'm always fascinated how comedians can play dark roles so well, right? Because they still bring humor to it, but they can be real unhinged. So I think this will become his thing moving forward, right? He'll still have comedy, right? He's doing Scary Movie again and things of that nature, but I think he can really get into drama as well. He does an excellent job, and so does the younger actor. But they just couldn't save the movie. They couldn't save it from itself, basically. So, and it has alternate endings and deleted scenes. I watched all of them. Didn't make it better. It just I respect the art, but it didn't make for a good movie. If that makes sense. So I give it a 5 or a 6.
It's kind of surprising to me because it seems like having just seen the trailer, right? Like it's not my thing. Like it seems way up your alley for stuff that you'd be
The
like,
trailer's
yeah.
excellent, but it doesn't play out well when you across the entire movie. You're just like not feeling it. But again, like the actors, it's not the actor's fault. Marlon Wayne should got a award for that one. He did an excellent job. I think he can follow in the steps of a
Like Eddie Murphy and Dreamgirls type thing. Like you could be
yeah,
serious and
like
do
like a
well.
like a an Eddie or Adam Sandler because he plays some dark roles, or Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart in the Netflix limited series where he's co-starred with
Wesley Snipes, right?
Wesley Snipes. Yeah, he does an excellent job too, being dark and funny and things of that nature. So I think he definitely will go far in that. But I don't know. I don't know Jordan Peele. So we'll see how his next projects work out. Then so I saw it at home on Peacock, and then went to the theater with the boys. So my 17-year-old son and my soon to be 11-year-old son. Really, the 11-year-old really wanted to see Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Like he played the games. He thought the first one wasn't that great, but the second one, like the trailer really got him. He was like, I want to go see this. So I think it's at home too now. I think you can stream it for money. So I took it to the theater. 11-year-old loved it. 17-year-old was like, this is dumb, and it falls into the normal tropes, right? Like scary movies are not supposed to make sense because everybody would just get out of there. So I was just like, that's just the way it has to be. Like people have to be extra dumb in these movies in order for the story to continue to carry on. So I thought it was okay, especially for a PG-13 scary movie, right? Like, so they can only do so much. But it had a bunch of jump scares. Had a bunch of lore that my youngest appreciated, and the oldest was like, they changed stuff. Like, well, again, that's just what Hollywood does. I was like, have you seen the Mario movie? He was like, it's pretty good. I said, no, no, the original Mario movie. He said, no, I didn't see that. I was like, it's pretty terrible. It almost ruined video game movies forever. Is how bad it was. So I thought it was a good time. I had fun, and then I feel like I saw another movie, but finished Pluribus, so that one is done. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good finale. Again, I recommend to you, Shannon. I think you like it. It's a mystery box show where they unveil the mystery at the very first episode, and then it's like, what do we do now? Type situation. So I think you might enjoy it. Uh,
I like Columbo because of that. They show you the crime and then you got to go through and figure it
right.
out after, right? But like, but I don't know. I saw the trailer and I was just like, I don't know, man. Like that's the Apple TV one, right? That was on Apple
Yep.
TV.
Yep. Apple TV.
The Apple TV stuff, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I still haven't finished that one series I was watching. I haven't gone back to Last Frontier or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. They do a lot of stretching to get all these episodes out of it and whatnot. And I'm like, not for me. But I might give it a shot, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I warn you. I think it's episode 7 is one of those episodes. I thought it was good though, but it's very quiet. It's a very quiet episode. So, but aside from that, not really playing games. Like I'm trying to get into a bunch of stuff. Still haven't really got anything I want to really play. I'm started Control. It's a good game. It's just like, feels a lot of samey, right? I'm doing a lot of the same stuff. Shooting, I guess, demons. I don't know what you would call them. But playing that, dabbling a little bit on that until I find something that kind of clicks. And then I started. to study. So I got accepted into the ISACA's AIR, the AAIR. So I think it's Advanced AI Risk certification. So I'll be in the beta. I think I have to test out in February. I think the first week of February is where I have to test out. Oh no, I'm sorry. The first week of March is when I have to test out. So I got some time, but just getting myself used to. I have never taken ISACA exam before. Um, I heard they're pretty difficult, so I want to make sure I do well and add another two to the two belt, right? I don't have any AI certs. Well, I do have the PMI had a generative AI course. This is more of how to use AI in your project management. This one will be, how to understand risk around AI and how to hopefully implement it within your organization, things of that nature. Just started dabbling, so I'm not exactly sure uh, all the ins and outs of it yet.
The thing you need to know is that the big red button may not always work. That's what
It
you
does.
need to know.
I would just assume it doesn't. Add that to the risk. You will not be able to shut this off. You see him try to kill the power and everything just cuts back on.
Not only does it come back on, but a voice is like, "Why did you do that?" Right? It starts
Right.
questioning you. Like, where did you come from? Like, I don't have any speakers in my house. You used to not have speakers in your house. I've created them. No.
But yeah, just trying to relax. The Bills play today, so we played the Eagles. So I think the Eagles are out though, right?
I think they're still leading their division.
Are
Their
they?
division's not good, man. Remember, it's Dallas, Commanders, Giants in that division. They're going to be in the playoffs, right? Like I don't yeah, because Dallas I think was the closest, and I don't think they can catch them.
Man, so I was hoping they play it soft. Apparently, that's not going to be the thing. That's not going to be the
Well,
case.
I mean, they might take it easy because again, their division's locked up. They're going to get in now. It's just a matter of seeding in the NFC, right? Like depending on how that goes with where they'll be seeded. So they want the higher seed so they can play the lesser teams, in that first round because they're not gonna get the bye. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna be
Gotcha,
them. It's gonna be who is number one? Who does have the bye in the NFC right now? Is it the Bears? No, it's not the Bears. No, it's the I think it's Seahawks. I
gotcha,
think it's the Seahawks. So Seahawks and Rams are trying to go back and forth for that number one seed to get that first round bye, but it won't be the Eagles.
gotcha. So we'll see. I think we're the 1 o'clock game, so knock it out first thing, and then aside from that, man, just chilling. Like same thing with the family here, right? The kids mostly got money, right? Because they're older. So like my daughter got mostly money, and then clothes and stuff like that. Junior wanted speakers for the car, so we bought him some nicer speakers and paid for the installation. It took him the day after Christmas, got him all situated. So he's very happy with that. And then a little bit of cash, and then the youngest finally got him his laptop. He's been borrowing everybody's laptop to do what he does. So got him his own. Not pricey, right? Like just got him enough to be able to play because he doesn't play crazy games, right? He plays like Roblox, platformers and things of that nature. So it
Doesn't
just take
necessarily need to be a gamer's laptop or anything
right,
like
right,
that, right?
exactly. Yeah, he just need to have storage and enough processing to compile his games and things of that nature when he builds them. Trying to wean him off of my computer for his game creation, but he also uses a tool called Blender, which allows him to make assets. That's not going to run on that, so he's going to have to still use my PC for stuff like that. At least I don't think it will. He hasn't gotten there yet. He's still figuring out what he needs to add to it, then asking if he has permission to add it and got him some other stuff. But what he loved the most was, of course, the laptop, and he has a Python book. So he's going through that and building programs and games off of that. So very very exciting for him.
10, man. This is crazy. Think about what we were doing at 10. Right? You know
Not
what
that
I'm
I was trying to get some
saying?
inline skates.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You're making
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super excited though. So it's good. It's good for his brain. So I'm cool with it. And yeah, man, just chilling. Went ate a bunch of food. Took the family to Texas State, Brazil. My son was talking the biggest trash. He's like, "Yeah, not ready. I gotta be ready. We got this game time. We gotta like you want to get his money's worth, right?" He tapped out. He was the last to tap out, but he started getting the meat sweats. He was like, "It's too much. They just keep coming."
That's why you do it. Is it the same with the red and green that you turn over,
Yep,
like the
yep,
other
yep.
Brazilian? Yeah. So like I've been to Fogo de Chao and I've been to Tucanos, right? That are that type of eating. And when we went to Fogo de Chao, my daughter, we had my youngest daughter with us, and it's just not her palate. You know what I mean? She's just
Oh,
like,
okay.
and she loves vegetables and stuff like that. Like she's not a little kid's palate with it. She's not a nuggets and fries type all the time. But yeah, she didn't enjoy it. So I was like, all right, that might just be me and the wife. We have to do it for like dinner or something. But it's not close to us, right? We have to
Oh, okay.
go over an hour away to get to it. So it's like,
Ooh,
how
gotcha.
do we make that work? You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, we've done Foe with a Child. That was pretty good. But I've heard about that one too.
It's pretty good. They had a really good salad bar because I busted my I mean I did this bad week for my diet. I busted several times, but I definitely busted it there, right? But I tried to load up on the greens, get some good salad stuff. But then you start getting that rotation. They start hitting you with the flow, right? They just keep the meat dudes just keep coming. Like, cool, give me some of that. I'll take some of that. And I was like, yep, I'm out. He was like, see, you're not prepared, you're not ready. And then like the next round, he was like, oh, I'm out. So I was like, I told you they'll get you, man. They just keep hitting you up. But it was all good. But yeah, just trying to enjoy the holidays and the family. The nieces were with their other aunt, so they'll be back. So we have to put their stuff underneath the tree so they can be surprised when they come here. Like, oh, Santa stopped at two different places. Like, yeah, Santa.
I can't wait for it to be done too. I'm with you.
Yeah, so clean up all that wrapping paper, put together all these toys, batteries, but it's all good. They're gonna have a blast. But yeah, that's it for me, man. I'm gonna start studying. I'm trying to get, all these different RAM initiatives. I want to get some small engagements running for the consultancy. Hopefully get some sponsors for the upcoming uh I guess it'll be season 5 for 2026. So get that rolling. And then maybe a speaking engagement, right? Like I want to get like all 3 pillars of RAM moving is the plan, and a bunch of really good interviews. So I opened up the calendar for 2026. I think I already have 11 or 12 guests signed up. So I need a person. I gotta hire a person. I don't want to. It's too much. It's too much stuff to edit, but it's a good problem to have. But yeah, that's it for me. So definitely continue to check us out. Again, we're not taking a break, so we'll be on next week. Well, next week will be, what day is today? So next week will be the 4th. So we'll be past the new year. So for those listening, happy new year. Hopefully you had a great time, didn't have too much fun. And yeah, we'll see you in 2026. So hit up all the websites to go by our name to check out our consulting services, or ryanwilliamssenior.com to check me out and all my current and upcoming projects. And yeah, stay safe, stay secure.